Alright. Hi, I'm Sarah Uranus. Amara here. And today I'm going to talk about this thing that happens. Alright, so on YouTube, every once in a while, a film that has no grounds for getting stuck in for laying or whatever you want to call it gets stuck. And keep in mind, you haven't done anything you haven't done to your film before. For me, all it would be was just making the film, putting it in 1080p HD, and that was it. That was the only shift you ever did to the film. And you do that the same. Every day you make your film, you do the same thing. You don't shift any of the settings, you don't play around with anything. You didn't shift what file, or you didn't shift what kind of film it was, or whatever. And then YouTube gets a hang up with dealing with it. And why that is, only the folks only the folks at YouTube would know. And they have their thoughts and beliefs on it too. And if you talk to some folks, they would have you believe that it's your shit that's fucked up. First, they'd have you believe it's your interweb. Well, if your interweb wasn't giving you a hang up all the other days, it wouldn't be giving you a hang up that day. Others would say, oh, maybe it's your evilware stronghold tool. And ours would be System Attack Norton. And if that wasn't stopping the upload or the furlaying of the film, they'll say it's your firewall. Well, if the firewall wasn't doing anything all the other days, it didn't shift its setting that day. So the fault, the hang up, whatever you want to, the mistake, the hang up, whatever you want to call it, is on YouTube side. It's always been on YouTube side, you know. And that was one of the hang-ups, that if you worked with webcam taker back in the day, if you worked with your web shooter back in the day, and this was like, I'm going to say, I don't know, 2005, well, maybe the 2015, between while, that was a big hang-up. If you were doing none, if you were not working with it, then it would happen, but maybe not as much. And it used to be a big thing. I mean, this hang up used to be a big thing back in the day. It used to be that would happen a lot. And it didn't care if you were working with web shooter, taker, or it didn't need if you weren't. So a lot of folks out there would think, well, why does this happen? As I told you, only the folks at YouTube know why it happens, and they'll give you their thoughts and beliefs on it. And then there's going to be all kinds of folks out there who will keep in mind they might know about reckoners, but they don't know about websteads. And there's a big unlike between a reckoner and a webstead. Your reckoner can behave one way, the webstead can behave the other way. But keep in mind, your reckoner and the webstead only work together while being uploaded. After the uploading, it's all on the reckoner, it's all on the webstead to get it up there. So for folks out there saying, oh, well, it's your reckoner, that's why it's stuck in for laying. Or, oh, it's your interweb. Or it's your evilware stronghold tool. Well, it's none of those. It's your firewall. It's none of those. It's your sandbox. It's none of those either. And there's going to be folks out there that are going to fuck around with all that shit and then go, oh, well, it was on YouTube. Yeah. It was always YouTube that was having the hang up. It was never your reckoner or any of its many settings for folks who have Microsoft Windows like I do, Apple Macintosh OS, Google Android, Apple iOS or Linux or Cellsoft, having many tools is the everyday thing in many settings. For folks who have Google Chrome OS, you don't really you don't your setting you don't really have a lot of tools and settings. But there are going to be folks out there going to play around with all that shit and then go, oh well, and then learn that they fucked their reckoner up or whatever they did, and it was all on YouTube side, like it's always been. And why am I truly making this film? Well, Jordan makes this film. It's a 9-minute film. It's an HD 1080p. That's the only shift that's being done to it. And we've been making films like in 1080p HD since March. Since we got this LG Reckoner with Microsoft Windows 10 with the Jelly Combo web shooter. So YouTube gets in its head or whatever, I can't shit this out. And keep in mind, this is a span after it was up. It isn't like, mostly, yeah. It's like, well, why don't you put it back in? Yeah, well, yeah. So, it's not funny, And everyone else is going to talk about, well, go to this webstead or go to that webstead. Well, all the other websteads don't work at all. I'm not going to go jump to some unknown webstead out there since I'm having to hang up with this one. That is so dumb. It's so dumb. So, yeah, it's a hang up. It happens from time to time on YouTube. Not as much as it once did, but it's still around. It still likes to show its ugly lair every once in a while. Granted it doesn't do it on YouTube live streams. It likes to do it on the non-live streams. It's where it really has its hang up when it wants to show itself. So anyway, that's the hang up that was going on yesterday. Something that I haven't talked about in a long time because it hasn't happened in a long time. I'm Sailor Uranus Amara. Hope you like this film.